And I think you can have the best plans. I'm sure Pakistan had a brilliant plan for last night, but things can happen very quickly. And once you lose a couple of wickets very quickly early in your innings, it's then the teams that take it on and continue to be brave are the ones that go on and win games. The teams that then stutter and you waste 3 or 4 overs trying to get yourself back into the game's gone then. So I think that's the key thing, is that not only do you have really good plans, but you stick to your plans and you're very confident of your plans, but you allow your players to go and play. And I think that's the one thing that we have in our side, a lot of confidence with our players, and we let them go and play the game. We don't spend hours and hours, breaking the game down. Our plans are very, very simple, and I think that's absolutely key in this game. And you allow players to make decisions throughout the course of the game. And I think if your plans are too rigid, I think you can actually stop people performing. No, I think every young cricketer in the Sri Lankan setup is very grateful of the senior players around them. And the fact that there's former captains in the team, as I said before, all of our former captains are very giving of their time and of their knowledge, not just on the field but off the field as well. And that's something that, there's been a lot of talk recently about senior players maybe coming to the end of their careers, etc., etc. The young players are very lucky to have those senior players around them, and that's, I think, a real advantage that for these young guys. Angelo Matthews is another one who, although he's captain the Test side and one-day side, he's still a young man making his way in his international career. So the likes of Sangha, Mahela, Dilshan, all these people around him, you can only benefit from them. And I think that's something that we're trying to make sure that we do as a management and coaching group, that we get as much out of our senior players as we possibly can. We said to our senior players at the start of the Bangladesh tour, the best thing they can do for the young players is to play their game as well as they can do, because they take an awful lot of pressure off the youngsters when they play and they score runs and they take wickets. So at the same time, there's a lot of good to be taken from them, their experiences, their knowledge, how to practice, how to play. At the end of the day, you can have as many coaches as you like, but players learn from players. And it's up to the coaches then to facilitate that learning and to make sure that we get the best out of our senior players. And that's something that I think we do really well as a group. Well, Mahela played a fantastic innings against England. Sangha's a very dangerous player. He hasn't had much opportunity in this competition. So you always expect big things from them. I mean, they've never let their team or their country down. I mean, their records show that. They're fantastic players, but they're fantastic people to have in the team as well. They're world-class people as well as world-class players. So, they've given so much to the team, and there was nobody, I can assure you, there was nobody more pumped up before the New Zealand fielding innings the other night than Mahela. He ran past me and nearly knocked me out of the way. He was so pumped and ready to go, and you could see his body language on the field, how desperate he was for the team to do well. So, they play with huge expectation every time they play, because of the fact of their records and what they've done for the country, and whether it's their last competition or not in this form, that they've been absolutely brilliant, and they will want to play as well as they can in every game that they play in. So we have no doubts about that.
Hi, Paul. Sri Lanka have been in several semi-finals and finals over the recent years without actually winning anything. Do you think there's a psychological element to that, and what can you do to help get over it if so?
Yeah, you could look at it that way. You could also look at it in the way and say, they've done really well in most competitions and got to finals, and that's where teams want to be. They want to be playing in the big games. I think we had a big win here in the Asia Cup a few weeks ago. We beat India and we beat Pakistan twice, and I think that was a big hurdle for the team to win the Asia Cup, and not only win it, but win it pretty convincingly. The final was a pretty convincing win, and I think that gave the team an awful lot of confidence. But we've had a lot of very close games in the last few weeks, and the last 2 months probably, we've had a lot of very close games. I think when you win them, the confidence you get from them as a side, really you believe that you can win from anywhere. And as I say, the other night, I think a lot of people would have written us off at the halfway stage against New Zealand, and once Brendan McCullum went, you could see the absolute belief in our team that they could win the game from there. And I think games like the other night give you so much confidence going into big games, be it semi-finals or finals. The key is, we've all talked about the fact the wickets have got slower over the course of the competition. The tough thing for us up in Chittagong was that the wickets got slower and drier, but the outfield and the ball got wetter and wetter. So that created a problem, certainly for our game against England. But absolutely, you know, we know coming here, we've spent a little bit of time playing here in the last few months. The wickets will turn, but again, it's about making sure you get the right pace. It's not just about getting the ball to the other end. You've got to bowl the right pace, and I think that's what Harath did so well in Chittagong against New Zealand. He bowled a fantastic pace, and I think that's the absolute key. Spinners need to bowl the right pace on the right surface. So it will spin, and we've got enough good spinners in our side to bowl well on it. 2020 is about whoever turns up on that particular day. Form goes out the window as well when it comes to 2020, and as we've seen throughout the competition, 3 or 4 overs from one particular player with bat or ball can change and win a game. So it's very much about making sure we're ready, we're focused, and we play our very best game we possibly can. As I say, form goes out the window, and what happened 2 years ago won't even be talked about, I can assure you. The win against New Zealand was a massive boost for us. We felt that we were probably 15, 20 runs short, and our bowling performance showed the fight and the spirit in the team. So, you know, we come off the back of a magnificent win. New Zealand were a good side, and we managed to beat them pretty convincingly. We saw the game last night, we watched the game, and West Indies are an excellent side playing very good cricket. So, you know, our preparation for the game tomorrow needs to be as good as it possibly can be. But we're very much looking forward to the game. This is where we want to be. You want to be involved in the big games. This is what players play for. Semi-finals, finals of World Cup competitions. And we're very excited about the game tomorrow.